Yeah, sleep. That's a big one that naturopathic doctors really get into as well. This concept of sleep hygiene.
Hmm.
If anyone hasn't heard that term before, when we use the term hygiene in relation to sleep, it's really just about like good habits around your bedtime routine and then even your wake
Yeah.
routine.
And would you say sleep is like fairly misunderstood by most people?
Sleep overrated, underrated, underrated.
Underrated for sure.
Yeah, no, there's like the sleep deprivation Olympics that happens sometimes where people are bragging about that they're only on 3 hours of sleep and I'm on four coffees, and
Yeah.
I might have been that person a few years back, but I no longer am. I value sleep like it's gold. But yeah, like I think that when advice gets given out there about, oh, we've science has figured out we need to sleep 7 8 hours, everyone just gives the thumbs up and goes, cool. I already knew that. I don't care. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean much to me. I think I get about 7 8 hours of sleep. I'm in bed around from this time to that time. But it's really it's about sleep efficiency. How long are you asleep? Divided by the total amount of hours you're actually in bed. So people can be in bed for 10 hours from whatever that is, 10 p.m. till 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and but not be getting a good quality sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read the book Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. Have you read that book before?
No.
No, it was a fascinating book, but there's a quote that really always like stuck with me from that book, and it is that sleep is not the absence of wakefulness, right? Whereas I think a lot of people think like, oh, I go to sleep, it's just me not being awake, like I'm just resting. Well, no, when you're sleeping, and particularly in REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement, right? That dream sleep, like your brain is like, that's when your body goes to rest, but your brain goes to work. Like that's when your brain is the most active, right? And there's it's a very powerful time period for you and for your brain's function, whether it's dealing with stressful situations, anxiety, bodily functions that are vital, like all those things. Like that's when your brain goes to work and goes like,
Yeah.
okay, let's figure shit out.
It does that. I think that's part of well, even what dreams are is problem solving, and that's not my opinion. There's something so fascinating. There's a study done with birds. Have I told you about this yet? The study with birds where they were they were hooking them up for when they were awake and when they were asleep, and they found what was happening with juvenile birds is that when they were asleep, they were exhibiting a pattern of the song that they were trying to learn from their parents. The same brain waves that they could see in the day when they were singing were showing up at night. And what was happening is in the day, the researchers were seeing, okay, the bird was kind of missing this note. It's having a problem at this part in the song. And in the dream, the brain was working it out, and it was kind of like smoothing over those bumps and then improving the learning of the song during sleep.
Yeah.
It was like that
Well,
was just one of those things that blew my mind.
Yeah, I want to elaborate on that a little bit, but also another interesting fact about birds and sleep is like many mammals and reptiles, but birds can actually like put half their brain to sleep and half their brain stays awake.
Yeah.
Like this has been scientifically proven as well. And so when you see all those birds like sitting along the telephone wire, right? You know, so you always see them in a line. Well, what's happening is all the birds in the middle are getting full sleep, whereas the bird on the left has the one side of their brain turned off. The bird on the right has one side of their brain turned off. And what they're doing is they're keeping that one side so that they can watch for predators, and then they'll wake the others up. Right? It's a fascinating thing. And they're not the only animal that does it. Like whales can do it as well, where they can be like sleeping, but still like eating as they're sleeping and
geez.
stuff. Like it's,
I can do that too, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things I can do while I'm sleeping as well, but like, and that also goes, that's why you don't sleep as good when you go to a hotel. So if you're traveling a lot, that's why you don't sleep as good, because your brain's not fully shutting off, because there's an awareness, a protective instinct that comes on where you're just like, you're not getting that sleep. But it's also fascinating with like the birds and the song and stuff. It's the same reason why they tell you, like when you're learning something new, like a new skill, like the piano or martial arts, getting good sleep while you're trying to learn that, getting a good sleep after you've had a really good study session because now your brain is taking that information, and that's the way that your brain works when it goes to sleep, right?
It integrates.